So while we're here, we're going to do a little cavity wax protection on the inside of our tube frame. We'll just simply take this straw, push it up. I do 3 coats. It calls for 2 to 3. And go. All right, that's the end of that can. Let's go get another one. All right, on the cavity wax, it says to shake it for a minute after the ball rattles. And I've done 1 can on this, and thought, you know, you'll probably want to check this out. So the purpose of this is these tube frames, they're really susceptible to rust, and they rust from the inside out. It's pretty common on the Jeeps, Ford and Chevy and Dodge late model trucks, any of that stuff that has a tubular frame. Of course, Jeeps have done it for a long time. They started with the late CJ5, CJ7. The early and intermediate CJ5s had an open channel frame, and it's not a big deal because the junk falls back out. But water gets in those little holes, and so does road grime, and it lays in the bottom of those tube frames. And if you're not careful and you let that moisture sit in there, it just eats them out from the inside out. Now, to amplify that, add road salt to it, and you've got yourself a disaster. So this Jeep was a Southern Jeep. It doesn't have a lot of rust in it. There's a couple spots here and there in the body, but frame's really good shape on it. And I don't put in salt anymore, but I really don't ever want to have it start being a problem. So what I'm doing is kind of do a little preventive maintenance here. I took the frame, kind of prep work here, I guess last fall. I took the Jeep down to the shop and ran a pressure washer through all the holes and just blasted and blasted and blasted every frame hole in it till nothing but clean water came out. Then I took it in the shop and ran blow gun through it. Got a snap-on or blue point blow gun with a little rubber tip, put it on the air hose, and blew all the moisture I could out of it and let it sit in the shop for about 2 weeks. Just tried to get dry as I could and checked it, and at that point everything in it was bone dry. So now that, again, everything's real good and dry, it's been sitting all winter, and before I take it out on the road and get any moisture sprayed up on it or down in those little holes, I'm going to go ahead and spray this cavity wax in there and hopefully get a little extra line of protection on it. And again, this is made by 3M. It's a not cheap, but you kind of get what you pay for. We've talked about that before. So I also like it because it will also, they call it self-healing. If something scratches it, in which there's not much inside of a frame that moves, on the other side there's a park brake cable. But it's a self-healing thing, and it's not like a paint or something that could trap something in there and be a problem. Or it could flake and then start letting moisture under it and get trapped like powder coat could. So this stuff, it will always be working a good edge down, and as it warms up and cools down, it'll always be moving around a little bit. And I would imagine it's something that ideally you should do, you know, maybe yearly. I really am not sure, but it costs, if you get online, you can find it for about $100 for 4 of these, and the kit's about 30. Excuse me. The straw kit, off memory, is about 30. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and finish out this frame. I've done the other frame rail and back to I guess a third or so of the front on 1 can. And these cans are a 1 pound, 2 ounce, or 18 ounce can. And that's interesting. They do it not in fluid weight, it's by actual weight. So I thought that was pretty cool. But anyway, I'm going to put this. Now, I broke my long one. It broke off of that piece right there. But it comes with 3 kits, or 3 straws in the kit. One is just short, little straight one. And I think what I'm going to do is try to ease that long tube off of it and put it on the one that's, ease the short one off and put the long one on that one that still has a good little nozzle tip. Now, the original ones that come with them, they don't have any provision for attaching the straw. And the straw, I guess I should explain that real quick too. The straw, you feed up in there and it shoots out flat. It doesn't shoot out the end, so it goes out, and then kind of helps me see how far I'm gotten with the holes, so I can push it up here and make sure that I'm overlapping. I like to make sure I'm overlapping. And I'm using this short, I guess, 2 foot straw, give or take. The other one I think is 3. And on this frame, there's plenty of holes in it, so the 2 foot works just fine. And but again, I like to make sure that I'm overlapping and not missing anything. And I can monitor that through the other holes in the frame, make sure it's little bits coming out. So anyway, we got this all shaking good, and we will. I'll let you watch a little bit of this. All right, we'll put our cap back on here, and we'll feed it back this way. I ran out, if you remember, right there. So now it's pretty messy, so you don't want to go around wearing good clothes. So about right there is where that straw went to, and that should overlap well, you can see. So we will and you can go to the 3M website and watch them spray this inside of a 2-liter bottle. It's really neat. I've got something stopping me right there. So I'm going to go back from the top in the next hole and catch it. I think I was hitting the hole because a lot is coming out right there, so no big deal, as long as we overlap. And again, I'm leaking everywhere. I'm not worried about that because we'll just wipe it off with a rag when we're done. There you can kind of see where it was leaking a little bit, and again, not worried a bit about it because we'll just wipe it all off. So right here, we made it to this hole. So we're going to go back a little further. And I insert it, pull the trigger, or depress the button rather, and then pull it out. All right. There we go. Right there is whatever it was we were hitting. Kind of intermittently hit. Again, just want to make sure we don't miss anything. Oh yeah, that looks really good in there. Outstanding. So there we have. There's about a half a can left in there, so that will let you know you probably need about 2 cans to do a CJ frame, YJ, TJ frame, any of those. So anyway, really excited about it, and just trying to preserve this old girl and let her live long as she can. All right, so here is the part number for the applicators. And there is the part number for the cavity wax. And there you have it. So again, it looks like consecutive numbers, 8851 for the applicators, 8852 for the cavity wax plus. And again, been real impressed with it so far. And we'll see how it does in a year or so. Okay, I was kind of wiping the frame down, and I realized that I had spray all the way down this pipe. Well, I thought, well, there must be a hole behind there. Well, there's not. But what happened is my straw went in a hole and popped back out of the frame, and I sprayed all the way down that thing. So bear in mind when you're doing this, you want to make sure that the straw's actually inside the frame that you put it inside of, instead of poking back out somewhere. So there's a spot here that I missed, so I'm going to go back and redo that area. Plus, it says you don't want to get on exhaust because it could catch fire. So just a little quick tip there.